Hey, what's up, Bitcoin Chaser fans, and welcome back to another crypto news live at 5 GMT plus 2 here, 7 p.m. actually, but 5 p.m. GMT nonetheless. And today we're taking a look at the top 10 market currencies. We're also going to be taking a look at the Fidelity launches Fidelity Digital Asset Services for institutional investors. Roubini tells Congress that Bitcoin is the mother of all scams. Bitcoin Chaser video section has just been released, so we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about the Learn Everything with Bitcoin Chaser and Bitcoin Basics. And now we're going to be having a look at what happened in the cryptocurrency markets over the last week. As we can see, just from a quick overview, we can see that the market has been sort of all over the place as it has been for the last few weeks. But nonetheless, in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has gone up 0.5%. and generally slightly lower than the beginning of the month. Ethereum now at $204, up 0.72%. A general up and down this week, but down nonetheless. And XRP at $0.46, actually up almost 5% in the last 24 hours, but not quite breaking that previous high that we saw at the beginning of the week. Bitcoin Cash at $445. Now, a lot of you will remember about 2-3 weeks ago, Bitcoin Cash was sitting stably at about $550. Now we're realistically down $100 over the last 3 weeks, but we are up 1.16% in the last 24 hours, and a general up and down over the last week, kind of seeing a middle way point now towards this Wednesday. EOS up 0.67%, but relatively the same as the beginning of the week at $5.40. Stellar is now at $0.24, almost exactly what it was a week ago, and it is down 0.3% over the last 24 hours. Litecoin at a $52 price at the moment, up 0.44% in the last 24 hours, but definitely down over the last week. Tether back to kind of almost a stable $1, as hard as it tries, $0.98, up 0.17% in the last 24 hours, but realistically very much up since the beginning of the week. Cardano at a $0.07, up 0.69% in the last 24 hours, but as we can see, it is down from the beginning of the week. And finally, Monero at 10th place on the top 10 market cap with $107 per Monero, up 0.24% in the last 24 hours, and a very much so uptrend since the beginning of the week. Rightio, everybody. I hope you guys are ready. I know I am. Sheldon, thank you for the shout out from South Africa. For those of you who don't know, I'm also in South Africa currently. Very, very hot at the moment, but as we reach this middle way point of the week, we're excited about the future. First of all, we are on bitcoinchaser.com. Your all-in solution to casino, Bitcoin, ICO, blockchain, everything in terms of news, guides, tutorials, and videos. You can come onto the homepage and view last week's video if you like. You can also take a look at the top news. You can have a look at our blog. You can also read some of our press releases. You can see all the information about upcoming and ongoing events, which is very interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff happening all over the world. Maybe one of it applies to you. Gambling and casino information, kind of everything you need to know about top Bitcoin casinos, as well as no deposit bonuses, crypto casinos, Bitcoin games, casino promotions, casino tournaments. It's all right here, accessible straight from the homepage. You can take a look at some of our guides of our Bitcoin basics, which we'll be taking a look at a bit later. You can also see the quote of the week, which this week is: Bitcoin and the ideas behind it will be a disruptor to the traditional notions of currency. In the end, currency will be better for it. That is from Edmund C. May, the 38th director of the United States Mints. Mints. Alrighty, let's get into it. The first article we're going to be having a look at today is Roubini tells Congress that Bitcoin is the mother of all scams. Now, I have been around in crypto for quite some time. I'm sure some of you have been around crypto for quite some time. However, the mother of all scams being Bitcoin, that can't be true. I mean, there was Jesus coin. Like, that is the mother of all scams. But let's go into this and take a look, right? So from John, he says, Malibu Beach, California, checking in. Welcome. I hope you definitely went surfing today if you're so close to the beach. Because here in South Africa, man, what I would do to surf, Can't even be described. Right, so the economist who predicted a housing market crash that brought about the 2008 financial meltdown cautioned politicians against Bitcoin. He said that Bitcoin is the mother of all scams and blockchain is the most hype tech ever. With Roubini and Peter van Valkenburg, director of research at the Coin Center, also joining in the discussion. So he was basically calling out Bitcoin, and he said, was particularly, although it lacks substance, he noted that crypto is the mother or father of all scams and bubbles. His insight comes after Bitcoin prices declined from $20,000 in December 2017. He said that the 2017 bubble and its subsequent burst was the first sign, and I immediately, straight off the bat, disagree with that, because a lot of what we saw in December was highly inflated, all coming through from what could have been Tether, right? The inflated prices, the reproduced Tether that went into the market and all of a sudden vanished. I wouldn't say that was the bubble bursting, more so someone trying something very sneaky, right? People with zero financial literacy were asking him whether to buy Bitcoin or not between Thanksgiving and Christmas last year. Roubini also stated that blockchain technology is the most overhyped technology ever. He called it a glorified spreadsheet or database. I don't know what you can do with your glorified spreadsheets and databases, but I can do a lot with blockchain that I cannot do with a spreadsheet. Right? Questionable expertise. Roubini's statement contradicts many blockchain analysts who believe in the potential of blockchain technology, especially those who stated that this disruptive technology could help various organizations. Even governments could benefit from it in tax collection efforts and other bureaucratic endeavors. The fact that Roubini called it a glorified spreadsheet shows ignorance about the technology and how it can manage processes in a decentralized manner. In fact, people have been transferring value on blockchain for almost 10 years now. Roubini not only dismisses the technological prowess of blockchain, that apart from creating a system in which the transfer of value can occur without central authority oversight, but he also disregards the importance of the creation of a digital scarcity through Bitcoin. In any case, Roubini has the wrong kind of expertise when it comes to most Bitcoin-related matters. The fact that he predicted the housing bubble in 2006 doesn't mean that he is the perennial canary in the coal mine. And I couldn't agree more. I think the biggest problem at the moment is the oversight that people give towards blockchain and crypto and all things Bitcoin, because right, they're coming into the market. Everybody is in essence pretending to be an expert, and the information you can get from a person A who actually knows what's going on and a person B who has some sort of idea but thinks you put money in and you get money out. Bitcoin isn't that. Blockchain isn't that. It is a means to trade and make a profit, yes. But the reason it came into existence, the reason it still is in existence, and the reason so many businesses, companies, and projects are building on top of this technology is not because it's just some far-fetched bubble, right? So it is clear that Roubini focuses on price and criticizes Bitcoin through that very narrow conventional lens. Bitcoin has indeed fallen by more than 65%. This so-called crypto apocalypse has the detractors saying, "I told you so," when there were other analysts agreeing to what Roubini had stated about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but few focused on its technological prowess. Among Bitcoin and cryptocurrency enthusiasts, there have been many warnings against the blockchain hype. People in the community know that blockchain technology is not the cure for every evil, but mainstream companies like IBM are pushing this idea regardless. Maybe Roubini should set his sights on them instead of condemning an asset he clearly knows nothing about, or perhaps he should focus on the next financial meltdown that is brewing as interest rates climb in a world that is addicted to his beloved brand of Kenyan debt. Now, that's a very interesting question, because if anything is going to happen, in the future in terms of financial crisis and a meltdown and another crash of the stock markets, Bitcoin is the only stable ship. Crypto is the only stable ship, right? Everything goes down. Life insurance, medical aid, everything, banks, boom, right? So it's a big problem. And I think there is more to it than just blockchain is the mother of all scams, which is like crazy, right? Next, we're going to be taking a look at something a lot more interesting, a lot more exciting. But first, from John, he says, Roubini's job is to push back adoption until the big banks are ready, buying them more time, then boom. And I couldn't agree with you more. We see it all the time. Influential figures in the financial sector just making bold statements to kind of veer people off until they can get their hands in the money pot. And we don't know if that's going to happen in this case, but definitely a high possibility that something could be brewing down the line that we don't know about. Next, let's take a look at our Son of a Chain segment. Today, he is going to be talking about the political implications of Bitcoin. Right, there is a lot of political implications around at the moment, and now we're going to go in depth and find out exactly what Son of a Chain has to say about this. Let's get into it.
The political implications of Bitcoin. Freedom is not free. This old adage that became a cliche to justify all kinds of political actions is actually true when we talk about Bitcoin and blockchain technology. Recently, Peter Thiel referred to crypto as a decentralized or libertarian technology, whereas AI would be a centralized or communist technology. Bringing politics into tech like this is quite unprecedented, but that got me thinking about the political implications of Bitcoin and why its costs, or the costs associated with blockchain platforms that could run on any traditional centralized infrastructure, are well worth the cost. Today I will focus on Bitcoin. On my segment next week, I will focus on the implications of a wider move towards blockchain-based platforms. Since Bitcoin is the first and so far the most successful application of blockchain technology, it has its own special place in the political debate. Bitcoin is inherently libertarian. When used correctly, it affords the holder de facto individual sovereignty. Bitcoin users do not depend on governments or banks, therefore they are freer in many respects than people who use legacy financial instruments and consume traditional financial services. Just think about banks, governments, companies, the labor market, and the individual. Most of us have to work for a living, so we collect what is colloquially known as a paycheck every 2 weeks or once a month. In the past, this payment was a check indeed, and workers could redeem it for cash without having a bank account. Nowadays, no employer will employ you if you ask for your monthly or bi-weekly salary to be paid in cash. This is convenient for the company because it does not need to keep large amounts of cash in hand to operate. It is also convenient for the government when it comes to taxing and tracking your payments. Banks benefit from money that is immediately deposited into accounts they control, for which they charge all kinds of management or withdrawal fees every time the individual wants to withdraw their hand-earned money. The individual is the one who bears the cost of convenience here. Although most people like the idea of having money transferred safely into a bank account and then manage payments from it, probably from an app on their phone, cost is evident in that individual's loss of freedom. At the most basic level, that individual is forced to use a service it did not choose to acquire. We should be able to go through our lives without buying banking services from any institution if we please, but nowadays that is impossible. Opening a bank account is as necessary nowadays as registering a newborn child or getting a social security number. Bitcoin frees us from this kind of bondage we are now addicted to because of the perceived convenience of having the service. When we use our bank accounts and we allow our employers to dictate to us how we get paid, we are making the lives of all these organizations easy at our expense, and in return, we get convenience, which is greatly overrated. Freeing ourselves from the system is not easy and it is costly. Being in Bitcoin for more than 5 years now, I know how hard it is to cash out to buy groceries or pay my utility bills. Nevertheless, it is well worth it for me. I demand Bitcoin payments for the work I do, and I am as free as one can be from the system that uses the data about our spending patterns to its advantage. I am a proud libertarian who would pay any price for freedom, and knows that once AI systems are developed enough, not even the banks or the governments that run the system right now will be in control. Holding and using Bitcoin is a political statement I am proud to make.
Right, so that was the Son of a Chain segment and some very interesting points that he made out. One being nowadays no employer will employ you if you ask them for your money monthly or bi-weekly to be paid in cash, and that's very true. Most of the time it's settled directly into our bank accounts, and if you do ask, you're not going to get a check that you can go redeem for cash, as well as the management or withdrawal fees. Every time the individual wants to withdraw their hard-earned money from the bank does have a fee involved that we cannot actually have an input as to what that fee is. We cannot opt out of that fee. More so, we cannot opt out of having a bank account because it's almost impossible to operate. So he finally closes off with saying, holding and using Bitcoin is a political statement he is happy to make. What is your political statement for Bitcoin and how do you feel about it? Please do let me know. Taking a look at the comment section, The dude Lino asks, what's your take on the stability of Bitcoin? The biggest problem right now is that it's not going above 7K anymore. Germany, Kazal tuning. Oh, okay, so you're from Germany. Right, so my point of view on Bitcoin at the moment being at what it is, almost breaching 7,000 but never quite getting there, kind of constantly at $6,500. The market has slowed down slightly, you know, in terms of new projects coming out, in terms of ICOs, in terms of raises, in terms of all things crypto. It has slowed down a bit, and that's because people, I believe, are indecisive about what's going to happen at the end of this year. Last year, we saw a massive rise in the market. It absolutely dumbfolded most people who were thinking it's going to go high, but went way higher than they thought. And now you're kind of at the situation where you don't really know what's going to happen, because we don't know if it's going to burst this year. Who knows, man? We have to keep up to date on it. But I think it will breach it. It'll be due time. There is a natural rate of adoption happening that if you take a look at the graph of Bitcoin's price over the last 2 years, you will see a natural growth rather than a inflated super pump and dump that we saw in December. So slowly, yes, we will go over that marginal 7,000. Will it happen in 10 minutes? Well, if it does, it's going to come straight back down. Like, that's my take on it, really. And how's Germany at the moment? Is it hotter or colder than South Africa? Let me know. Right, so Fidelity launches the Fidelity Digital Asset Services for institutional investors. The 70-year-old investment firm announced the launch of a separate Fidelity Digital Asset Service for institutional investors on Monday. Forbes reported that this firm based in Boston will provide crypto custody services 24/7 and 365 days a year. Institutional investors, including hedge funds, family businesses, and market intermediaries, are the major players clamoring for this type of solution. So what is cryptocurrency services for traditional investors? Back then, they launched in the middle of last year, but now it is a fully fledged product available for institutional investors, but it will not be available to retail investors. Abigail Johnson, investment chairwoman and CEO for Fidelity Investment Chairman, described the goal of the service. Our goal is to make digitally native assets such as Bitcoin more accessible to investors. She added that we expect to continue investing and experimenting over the long term with ways to make this emerging asset class easier for our clients to understand and use. So they're basically trying to provide a service in order for people to be able to get involved in crypto and blockchain through them. Very interesting. So let's talk about Fidelity Investments. Fidelity Investments has more than $7.2 trillion in assets under its management, and it is the first Wall Street entrant to provide crypto custody solutions. It has around 27 million customers, spending $2.5 billion per year on technology, including AI and blockchain, which, as a result of the research conducted by Greenwich Associates, which found that 70% of executives believe crypto will have a role in the future of the financial sector, yet many are still sitting on the sidelines. I think for exactly what I said earlier, we don't know what's going to happen at the end of this year. We don't know what's going to happen next year. That is what crypto is all about, right? So many people will say they believe in the technology, they see the brighter path down the line, but they're not quite sure if they want to hop in just yet because they're uncertain of what might happen in the future. Institutional clients want Bitcoin. According to Tom Jessup, head of Fidelity Investment, the firm is already working with 13,000 institutional clients on the potential of holding crypto assets. He pointed out that we've got some technology that we've repurposed from other parts of Fidelity. We can leverage all the resources of a big organization. Fidelity is looking to offer the following. So these are the services you will receive because you're using Fidelity. If you were someone that was going to do it, you would get institutional grade custody of digital assets, vaulted cold storage, security protocols, and multi-level physical and cyber controls. And that is one benefit that I will openly say is a benefit, having the ability to have someone else manage the security, the cold storage, the multi-level physical and cyber controls. To an everyday person, that is very, very complicated, especially if you don't know much about it, but you want to get involved. I mean, it's something we've never seen before. When have you ever had to hold all your money on a private key that you have to keep very safe and not let anyone else see? Yeah, you run the risk of potentially having them steal your funds because you and them are the only people that might have access to those funds, and that is the risk. But on the other end, Bitcoin and crypto's future all relies on the ease of which an everyday consumer can adopt this new financial system. And yes, that does aid it a little bit. That is a definite benefit. Trade execution. It will employ smart order routes for trade execution of digital assets, and it will have dedicated client service. With client service specialists, clients will have excellent custody solution services. The new service is akin to what other exchanges including Coinbase, Gemini, BitGo, Ledger, and iBit are offering. Moreover, Goldman Sachs and Northern Trust are also stepping ahead to offer custodial services. Fidelity aims to build a scalable infrastructure. According to reports, Fidelity will be able to provide institutional-grade custody trade and dedicated client services. Fidelity will offer other top-ranked cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, to its clients. In addition to cold storage, Fidelity will have multi-level physical and cyber controls, which maybe means that they will have multiple people who are required to provide information in order to access funds. More security for the consumer, I guess. Yeah. Right, now moving on outside of the news, let's take a look at the comments here. The Dulino says cold, yeah, like winter cold, gotta fly away soon. I don't operate well in the cold, extreme colds, and I definitely don't operate in extreme heat. So if I come to you, I get too cold. If I stay here, I'm too hot. I need to find somewhere like middle ground, you know. Right, so the Live at 5 is accessible from the Bitcoin Chaser video section. If you didn't know, you can view all of our Live at 5 videos from every single week right here. We also have our guides for how to set up and use Faucet Hub, how to actually use the Bitcoin Chaser free Bitcoin section where you make use of Bitcoin faucets, how to use My Ether Wallet properly. It's quite a complex thing to come onto. If you're just a first-time user, it's a great bit of resources for you to overview before you go ahead and make your first My Ether wallet. Rightio then. After that, we have the Bitcoin guide section. Now for you new crypto users, for you guys who want to kind of get a better idea, get your head around everything to do with crypto, all these different terminologies that are popping up into your head, and you're like, I have no idea how to understand one concept because there's like 16 terminology terms that I have no idea what they mean. This is where you can come to kind of cross that bridge, right? So you can learn about what is Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin, Bitcoin wallets, Bitcoin mining, spending Bitcoin, who's who in the Bitcoin world. You can read up on some Bitcoin quotes. You can check up the Bitcoin glossary to do exactly that, understand terminology. You can take a look at the Bitcoin event calendar. That is conferences happening all over the world that you can be a part of. If you're in the area or you're planning on traveling, maybe you can make the best of both worlds and go visit one of those. You can take a look at some Bitcoin embassies. You can take a look at some guides about different types of cryptocurrency, and you can have a look at Bitcoin in pop culture. How cool is that? Some great information and resources available here. Everything we discussed in this video today is linked down below in the description. You can go check it out in your own time. To our offline viewers that'll probably be viewing at a later stage, please be sure to use the description section in order to go find all the links we speak about. Even you guys, once this video is done, go check it out. And finally, guys, if you like this video, hit that like button. We always appreciate the support and lets us know we're on the right track. If you found anything annoying or you want to make any suggestions and you feel like you've disliked the video, hit that dislike button, but please leave a reason as to why you dislike the video and how we can improve. And finally, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on today's video. Let me know what you find interesting. And if you want us to feature any kind of news or information in next week's video, drop it down below in the comments. And myself and Bitcoin Chaser will get straight to it. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you next week, Wednesday, 5 p.m. GMT. Have a good one. From myself, BroKaine and Bitcoin Chaser. Bye-bye. Oh, and thank you for joining us, John. Hopefully I see you next week as well. If you're still here. I saw your comment a bit too late there. Bye, guys.